Right now on KHQ, breaking news.
Good morning. At 6:30, we are following breaking news in North Spokane.
Right now, we want to go back out live to Katie Steiner, who is following this story for us. Katie?
Good morning, Sean and Shelley. Well, an official with the Spokane County Sheriff's Department told me that they did find a body here. Now, KHQ was first on scene. Take a look at what we're looking at right now. It looks like everything is happening on Wypert Drive there. You can see where those flashing lights are. That's where we've been seeing people walk back and forth. And I did talk to a neighbor. He said that entire street is closed. So if you are around the area, make sure you just avoid this entire area because police have roped off everything. They've roped off half of Evergreen Elementary's parking lot. They've also roped off a couple other streets down the way here. So just wanted to make sure that you guys stay clear of this area, make sure that police officers can do their work here. We are going to be getting more information as soon as Deputy Craig Chamberlain does get here. He has not gotten here. I've put a couple calls into him, but he hasn't answered. Reporting live in Spokane, Katie Steiner, KHQ Local News Today.
Right now at 6:30.
Thanks very much, Katie. Well, the Hecla Mining Company, their executives, employees, and investors are now just hours away from a major news conference scheduled for noon. The mining company, with history spanning more than 100 years in our area, employing hundreds, set to make major news today. We are learning the very latest this morning about what these plans involve. The Hecla Mining Company, one of its biggest silver producing mines, the Lucky Friday mine, have been entangled in a series of setbacks over the past 3 years. And this morning, they are looking to take the right steps in 2013 as they look to the future. While that meeting is happening today at noon, the president and CEO of Hecla will be making the announcement that Lucky Friday Mine is back open. The news conference will also update you on exactly how much money they are spending.
Now, Hecla has had several problems in just the past few years, but none in recent memory, such as the one in 2011. First of all, in April of that year, a collapse at the Lucky Friday mine in Wallace killed 53-year-old Larry Merrick. Merrick was working more than a mile underground in a tunnel when it collapsed, crushing him. It took recovery teams more than 9 days to retrieve his body. Then in November of the same year, 2 workers were injured at the Lucky Friday mine as a partial collapse sent them both to the hospital. The work the men were doing involved drilling, blasting, and mucking of rock into an already constructed area. Both men have since been released from the hospital. And finally, less than a month later, a seismic event officials called a rock burst injured 7 miners in mid-December, launching a third rescue effort at the time at the Lucky Friday mine that year. The rock burst was determined to have happened naturally, but the 3 events in the same year prompted the closure of the mine, which many residents in Wallace say crippled the town's economy.
Well, remember, KHQ will be streaming this news conference live in its entirety on KHQ.com as they hold that news conference at noon. If you can't make it there, you can follow on your iPad, iPhone, or your Android device with the KHQ.com app, including a reformat for the iPad. 6:33 right now. If you had plans to go to the Knitting Factory on Friday, you are out of luck. That concert venue shut down after a shooting yesterday early morning that sent 2 people to the hospital after a confrontation outside of the venue. Police say the shootings appear to be gang related, and because of what they say is a recent string of violence there, Chief Frank Straub announcing the Knitting Factory would be shut down. Management at the Knitting Factory say they are cooperating with police and communicating and now have 20 days to appeal that closure. Many of you split on the decision to close the venue. Some have gone as far as protesting the decision made by Spokane's new police chief.
In other local news, heading to court today here in the Inland Northwest, the driver in a fatal crash and a cartoon-masked robber in Coeur d'Alene. Here in Spokane, Brian Storm will be arraigned this morning on vehicular homicide charges stemming from a multi-car crash that happened last weekend at Empire and Helena, leaving 1 person dead. Police say Storm was driving recklessly when he blew through a stop sign and hit a truck. In Coeur d'Alene, the man police say donned a SpongeBob SquarePants mask and robbed the Lean Bean Espresso shop on Sherman Avenue in January will be in court today. Police say Kyle Campbell threatened a barista working there and demanded money while wearing that mask. No one was injured, and thanks to help from the public, Campbell was arrested just a few days later.
New information this morning out of Idaho gives us a glimpse into how much the state's fish and game sectors are worth to the overall Idaho economy. The 534,000 hunters and anglers in Idaho spending more than $1 billion in 2011, according to a new report. And those sports produced more than 15,000 jobs in Idaho that year, according to the new report. The study's mission is to work work with Congress, governors, and the state legislature to advance outdoor sports interests nationally. There were more than 37 million hunters and anglers ages 16 and up, about the size of California's population.
Well, right now the Airway Heights Correctional Facility remains locked down 2 days since a brawl between 16 inmates forced the jail closure. One inmate was taken to the hospital and 3 staff members received minor injuries trying to separate those inmates. No staff members were injured seriously, however, during the fight. Officials say the medium security facility will remain on lockdown as the investigation is carried out. The facility houses more than 1,500 inmates. There was no word on what started that fight or when this investigation is going to be complete.
And good morning. We're waking up to some light snow out there this morning. A lot of that really at this point between Pullman and Spokane, now moving up north as well into parts of northeastern Washington. As we head throughout the rest of the day, we're going to be focused primarily on the central panhandle into the northern panhandle of Idaho and northwestern Montana, as this system now moving off to the northeast. By noon should be about 36 degrees and some rain snow mix showers. By that point, 38 degrees to end the day, and that turning over to a rain snow mix, even possibly rain showers. Now, the areas that already have some snow, we're talking about the West Plains, the South Hill that is stuck to the ground. Noticeable accumulations, about a ½ inch to an inch in some of those areas. Still could get up to a total of 1 inch to 2.5 inches in some spots. And actually some watches and warnings have just been put into place for that possibility, but that all above 2,500 feet. So if you live above 2,500 feet, that's where we could see some more accumulation from this. But you've noticed just from earlier this morning, it's starting to break down at least a little bit. You see that 2 cells kind of separating there, one near Walla Walla, the Blue Mountains, and one here over Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. But there's the overall movement, Sean, moving off to the northeast. So still areas in the northern panhandle, central panhandle, northwestern Montana looking to get some snow this morning as well. Sean.
All right, thanks very much. 6:37. It is time to give a long distance shout out across the studio to Kalai. We can see you over there. What are you working on?
Hey, good morning. Trending right now, we're actually taking a look internationally. The Associated Press is reporting breaking news in Syria. You know, the civil war going on there, and reports now that 2 mortars have exploded near one of President Bashar Assad's palaces. This is breaking news, and it's trending right now on Twitter. Also this morning, reports of Office Depot and Office Max merging as this news came out yesterday. It's good news today showing shares of the supply chains are soaring this morning, and if they do merge, they're going to be able to compete with Staples. They'll have about the same amount of stores combined as Staples does right now. Also on YouTube's front page this morning, we want to show you this. Of course, we always love the half-court shots, but here's what's exciting about this. This was Brandon University in Canada, and a student was chosen to shoot the half-court shot so that he might receive a semester of tuition. But here's the shot. He called on the head coach, Gil Chang, to shoot for him. Gil made it, and his celebration was huge. He was pumped. The student was pumped too, Sean and Shelley, because he gets a semester of tuition paid thanks to Coach Chang.
That is so cool. And hey, Kalai, that whole merger possibility with Office Depot and Office Max, what are they going to call the new company?
Oh my gosh, that's a good question.
Office?
Something tells me the word office will be in it.
Probably. All right, thank you. Well, right now we want to go back out live to Matt Rogers. When last we talked to him, he said he was going to don an apron. Matty?
Well, and I have indeed, Shelley. Yeah, I'm at the Spokane Potters Guild here, and I've been working with some alpine white clay. I've got my new best friends, Steve, Mike, and Bonnie with me here, and I'm going to give this a go. And as I do this, Bonnie, talk a bit about some classes that you guys are going to be offering coming up in April.
Okay, we've got classes that start the week of April 1st. We have 7 different classes we offer: hand building, wheel throwing, intermediate, all levels, beginners. The classes run for 8 weeks. And that's about it.
Mike, we were talking about this. Now, you promised me that Demi Moore would be here this morning here for this. What happened there?
She's still in Sun Valley.
Okay.
I called her, and she couldn't be here in time for breakfast. We were bringing donuts, so
all right.
We have nothing.
Well, speaking of breakfast, you know, I don't mind a bowl of chili for breakfast. I don't know about you folks at home, but, you know, I get up early. You guys got a great event coming up. Tell us about that.
We have a chili feed coming up on Saturday, the 23rd. It's from 11 to 3 at the Corbin Senior Center.
Okay.
And for $12, you get to come in and buy one of our bowls that we've made. and we fill it up with all the chili you can eat, and when you're done, you take the bowl home and you get to keep it.
And see, I'm attempting to make a candle here, I believe, and, purposefully. So maybe we can gouge the top out of this and fill it up with, hollow it out and make a chili candle.
You could make a chili candle with that.
So
definitely.
see, that's kind of what I was going for this morning, you guys, and it actually is starting to take shape. It's thank you. That actually does the trick, Mike. I tell you what, this is a lot harder than you think. You got to put some elbow grease into it, and to make a bowl, you guys, it takes upwards of 2 to 3 weeks from beginning to the end process. So you guys, great time with you this morning. Appreciate you inviting me out. And
thanks for coming.
Think we could get anything out of this? What do you think?
Keep working at it.
There we go. It's a work in progress, Sean and Shelley. And don't forget about the chili feed Saturday at the Corbin Senior Center from 11 to 3, right?
Right.
All right. Back to you guys.
And he's doing a really good job. We should mention, though, that his wife is on the phone, wants to talk to him about Demi Moore being at the event.
Yeah, she apparently has an issue. She's taking issue with that. And, give him a little time and Matt can mold a great lump of clay. Right?
Absolutely. All right, unfortunately, on a serious note this morning, we are following breaking news in North Spokane.
That's right. A body found near Evergreen Elementary. We are trying to contact school officials to see what their protocol will be going forward. As soon as we make contact with them, we'll pass that information your way. Back in a minute.